Hi. If you sell any kind of digital products, then one of the essential things you need is a payment gateway. Because that's basically how you'll accept payments from your users, right? Now, when you talk about online payments, Stripe is probably what comes to your mind, as it's definitely the biggest and most common payment gateway out there. And this is exactly what I used in my own SaaS. So I thought showing you the whole process would be interesting. So in this video, I'm gonna share how you can add Stripe subscription in your Next.js or React application. Alright, so let me give you guys a quick demo of what we are talking about. So this is one of my SaaS product that I'm working on, where you can basically use it to track your goals. So you have your projects, you go to goals, you can see the goals you are working on. But if you go to analytics, it will ask you to upgrade your plan to standard, because in the basic plan we have projects and goals available, but the analytics in the paid plan. So you click on that, and here it asks you to click on monthly or annual subscription. So let's say we want to get an annual subscription, subscribe, and it takes you to the Stripe checkout page. And here you can fill out your card details and subscribe, and then it should upgrade your plan. After your checkout is finished, on the database level, your plan will be upgraded from basic to standard. So when users go to the dashboard, you will not be able to see the upgrade button. And when you go to analytics, you can access the analytics. So let's check out this one. So I made a diagram to show you the whole process, how it works. So when users go to Megastrucker and tries to upgrade their plan, it creates an API request to our server, and then it sends a Stripe checkout URL. And then users go to the checkout URL, they pay the fee to Stripe, and Stripe takes a fee. The standard is 2.9% and a 50 cents transaction fee, and the remaining is saved in Stripe. And the good thing is, on each events, like users subscribed, users added their cards, users failed, like all the events, they send you a webhook request that you can accept. So the last thing we are checking for is an event called checkout.session.complete, which means the checkout session is complete, successful, which means the checkout session was successful. So we receive the money. So it sends a request to the DB to upgrade his plan from basic to standard, and it sends a new token to the user, and that's how users will be like, okay, now we are upgraded to the paid plan, and they can access the premium features. So yep, that is basically how the whole section works. Alright, so now comes to the coding part. I will give you a quick overview how the whole thing works. So this is a upgrade component. So this is a upgrade plan component I made, which is basically this one, where users can select which plan they want, and this data is coming from this area I have here, where I have the labels, the plan, value, currency, and the lookup ID. This lookup ID is pretty important because that's how Stripe will understand which plan we are selecting. You will get that in the Stripe dashboard if you go to your products, pricing, and here you can see your lookup key. You just copy that and use it in your code base. And in the code base, I'm just looping through this plan and showing it on the UI. And when the user submits, I'm clicking the checkout, and here I'm just using this checkout API, which gets the checkout URL. So if you go to the API payments route, here you can see I have some validation stuff here to make sure I'm getting the expected bodies. But after everything is passed, I'm looking for the lookup key that the client is sending. And once everything is done, we can see we can get the prices from the Stripe JavaScript library. And here we just press the lookup key and the product which you need to get the checkout URL. So you just call a checkout Stripe checkout sessions, in the create section, we just pass the ID that we got from the prices and the number of quantity, which is basically 1. And here you can also pass some metadata to identify which user is trying to subscribe to your product. In my system, I have a user ID for every user, so I'm just like using that to identify. You can also use emails or any other identification method for your system. The mode is subscription, and I'm allowing users to add promotion codes, which lets them use the coupons. And here you can see like, okay, what happens if the user is successful or failed. Stripe will redirect them to these routes. So I'm just like redirecting to my domain and these two props, success true and false. And yep, after everything is finished, it will just return the session. Here in the client side, we're just checking, okay, if the response is all right. If it is, we're getting the session from the response JSON and pushing it in the browser. And that's how, after a user presses the subscribe button, it takes them to the Stripe checkout. So if you click subscribe, it creates the API and it pushes the subscription link to the browser. And that's basically how this whole part works. Now, whenever users try to like fill out these forms, whether it's successful or fails or any events happens, Stripe will send us a webhook. You can set that up from the Stripe dashboard. So if we just go to webhook, you can see I have some webhooks set up here that Stripe calls every time something happens. You can create a new webhook from here and listen to different events. You can select which events you want to listen to. Pretty easy process. I'll show what I did. We go to my API, webhooks, Stripe. So here I'm getting the body, and in the body you have a type where you get which type you want to listen to, right? So the types you get from here. So let's say for checkout, you can select all, or you can select a specific. Let's say select all. So here you can get all the cases that you can just copy paste. So the one we are listening to is checkout.session.complete, which means the user has finished the checkout. And if the checkout is done, we get the user ID that he passed and the amount he paid. And here I have a very silly logic. I know it definitely has like a better way to do it, but it's just for my personal preferences. I'm just checking like what is his next payment. So let's say user took a monthly plan on December 1st. His next payment should be on January 1st. I'm just using a silly logic here that if the user paid amount is less than 500 cents, basically $5, then he took a monthly subscription, but otherwise he probably took a annual subscription. And that's how I'm calculating when his next payment is. And when it is done, I'm just like setting that in my DB for my own preferences. You don't have to do it. Stripe does that, all this stuff, but I want to keep them in my database. And then I just like upgrade this user to standard plan. That is basically how the whole thing works. And you can also get up to the next step using some sort of cron job. That will fire up on your next payment date. You can check like if the user pays, keep them upgraded to the standard plan, but if it doesn't, you can like lower them to the basic plan. You can use something like Upstash. They're really great for these use cases. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. We also have a community called Makers 0 to 5K where we talk about tech, business, and all sorts of stuff. You can also join there. Link will be in the description. And yep, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.